Zane Martel struck out a slap. A warm wind brushed past, but no palm print was seen. Zane Martel was not surprised by the outcome. He had spent a lot of time back then cultivating the human emperor's palm. The dragon emperor's palm was more powerful than that, so it would not be so easy to master. He only hoped to master it within 2 months, as the strange little world would close after 2 months.
Let's do this again.
Zane Martel was not discouraged. Instead, he was filled with a fighting spirit. He once again circulated his vital energy and began to cultivate. Time passed quickly in his cultivation. In the blink of an eye, more than 10 days had passed. In the past 10 days, Paulson Colt stuck to his plan and tricked another group of people into the South Sea Dragon Meridian and used the Guna spirit-eating insect to drain their willpower. Although there was only one wall between Paulson Colt and Zane Martel, they were unaware of each other's plans. In fact, after Zane Martel was sucked into the stone wall, Paulson Colt did stay there to wait for Zane Martel to break out of the wall. He wanted to kill Zane Martel in one blow and snatch over the semi-dragon bone. He waited for a few days in a row, but Zane Martel was nowhere to be seen. Hence, Paulson Colt assumed Zane Martel died inside. He regretted not getting the semi-dragon bone. He drained the new group's willpower and found a place to cultivate in seclusion for his legendary move. A drastic change also occurred outside the South Sea Dragon Meridian. Dante Kane and Ethan Haddon had made many enemies, so they were ambushed by the geniuses from various regions who wanted to kill the two of them. However, Dante Kane's attacks were too bizarre. Without exception, hundreds of people were all killed by Dante Kane. The news spread all over the strange little world, shocking everyone else. Since then, no one dared to get even with Dante Kane and Ethan Haddon. They dared not even provoke anyone from the Amor Mountains. During this period, Zane Martel had been cultivating the Dragon Emperor's palm during the day, resting at midnight, and leaving the dragon prison in the next half of the night to hunt the ghost soldiers. The Moon Soul Pearls produced by killing the ghost soldiers greatly enhanced Zane Martel's willpower. He had to collect as many Moon Soul Pearls as possible before leaving this strange little world. 2 months passed in the blink of an eye. At that moment, Zane Martel left the dragon prison and stood in front of the stone wall, slightly tugging his lips. His aura also broke through from the middle 6th stage of the expert level to the early 7th stage of the expert level. The day before, he had finally successfully mastered the Dragon Emperor's palm. The might of the Dragon Emperor's palm had far exceeded Zane Martel's imagination. It could be said that the Dragon Emperor's palm was Zane Martel's strongest killing move. In terms of physical strength, Zane Martel had the Ghost King Dragon Ape. In terms of attack, he had the Dragon Emperor's palm, and even his willpower was enhanced by the semi-dragon bone. Zane Martel had absolute confidence in fighting against anyone now. He was definitely invincible.
I didn't expect to spend 2 out of 3 months in the dragon prison when I was in the strange little world. I must have missed out on a lot of treasures. The final assessment of the Dragon Envoy of Carlton will be held in 2 days. I must hurry up.
He stopped in front of the stone wall and made finger techniques with both hands. Suddenly, all the blood vessels in his body began to burn. His body emitted waves of Dragon Clan's power, which gathered in his palm like rivers. His bright red blood color became scarlet.
Dragon Emperor's palm.
A loud dragon roar rang out. An earth-shattering momentum surged from Zane Martel's body, and the Dragon Clan's power burst out from his body. He was like the Dragon Clan's emperor, soaring in the skies and looking down on all living things. A bright red handprint struck out and hit the stone wall. As a result, there was a huge hole in the indestructible stone wall. The wind swept over and kept whistling. The moment the hole appeared, it began to quickly repair itself. Zane Martel moved and transformed into a shocking sword glow as he left this place. He directly broke through the South Sea Dragon Meridian's formation and hovered in the air.
Onwards!
After observing the directions, he flew to the venue of the final assessment. Right then, in the center of the southern part of the strange little world, many geniuses were gathered on a huge mountain peak. There were hundreds of giant tombstones there, each about 100 meters high. Faint green light emitted from the tombstones, making people feel a chill in their hearts. Numerous figures flew in from all directions and landed on the top of the mountain. The geniuses from the major regions of the Tranquil Sea region landed near these tombstones from all directions. The Amor Mountains were located in the south of the Tranquil Sea region, so their group naturally gathered near the tombstones in the south. More and more people gathered around the tombstones, and soon there were more than 2,000 people. As time went by, the number of people continued to rise. Two powerful figures broke through the air and appeared under a huge tombstone. The formations around them soon dissipated. They were Victor Quinn and Medicine Costa. After this period of cultivation, Victor Quinn and Medicine Costa's auras were much stronger than they were 2 months ago. Victor Quinn especially looked more determined than before. It seemed he had gained a lot from practicing in front of the rock containing the Deca source of gold. After landing, Medicine Costa glanced around. His expression looked gloomy as he asked,
Victor, are there any other survivors in our Amor Mountains other than you and me?
over the past 3 months, because of Dante Kane and Ethan Haddon, almost all regions were hostile to the Amor Mountains and regarded them as enemies they must kill. Coupled with the fact that the Giant Devil region and the Double Devils Alliance had killed many disciples from the Amor Mountains, there were even fewer Amor Mountains disciples left. At least when Medicine Costa looked around, there was no one else but the two of them from the Amor Mountains.
I don't dare to make any assumptions, but I know Zane Martel is still alive. It's just that we don't know where he is right now. The time is almost up. Where is Zane Martel?
Victor Quinn also looked around looking for Zane Martel, but he could not see him. More people flew across the void and landed on the mountain peak.
Look, there are only around 50 people left in the Netherworld Valley region. I remember they came with around 400 or 500 of them.
I remember it too. I guess the strange little world is even more dangerous than we had imagined.
I heard some regions were even completely wiped out.
Some discussed among themselves. Another group flew over everyone else and landed on the tombstones in the distance.
They are from the Holy Water region.
Someone recognized the new group. Right then, there was a buzz in the air.
Look, what's that?
Some people looked in the direction of the voice, and their faces changed greatly after seeing the scene. They screamed. In the distance, a blood-red cloud in the sky rolled in their direction. The closer it got, the louder the buzzing noise became. Taking a closer look, they noticed the cloud was made up of flying insects as thick as a small finger. They were the Guna spirit-eating insects. The giant insect cloud flew past them as if locusts were passing through, turning everyone's faces pale with fright. Behind the scarlet group of Guna spirit-eating insects was the largest insect among them, apparently the mother insect. After resting and nourishing itself for the past 2 months, the mother of the Guna spirit-eating insects that was almost killed by Zane Martel's Ghost King cannon managed to survive the attack. Dozens of people wearing the long Dino Valley robes stood on the mother worm. Their leader possessed the strongest aura. He was none other than Paulson Colt.
Ah, my eyes!
His deep eyes were like a black and deep hole absorbing everyone's gazes. If anyone looked into Paulson Colt's eyes, they would notice Paulson Colt's eyes were like a sharp blade, twisting their brains in willpower spaces.
Is he from the Dino Valley? Doesn't the Dino Valley always opt out of the selections for the Dragon Envoy of Carlton?
Moreover, how terrifying is this person to crush people with his oppressive aura by just looking them straight in the eyes?
Many of them were terrified by Paulson Colt's strength. 2 months had passed. Paulson Colt had mastered the divine skill he mentioned by relying on the large amount of willpower he obtained. He hovered in the air like a king descending upon the world, looking at the crowd with disdain.
Senior, should we...
No need. They are a bunch of trash. The final assessment is about to start, and I've mastered the divine skill. I don't want to dirty my hands by touching them.
Paulson Colt's voice was very loud and disdainful, instantly reaching the geniuses standing under him. There were tens of thousands of people from more than 100 areas in the Tranquil Sea region that entered the strange little world. However, there were only several thousand of them left now. Everyone who survived up until now was certainly very powerful. They would be the strongest among everyone else in the outside world.
You from the Dino Valley, aren't you being too arrogant?
Who are you calling trash? You watch your words.
A burly young man roared and surged with vital energy as he rushed toward Paulson Colt.
You're all trash. How ignorant of you. Since you want to die, I'll grant your dying wish then.
With a gentle tap of his finger, an invisible willpower flew out from Paulson Colt's finger and turned into a finger-sized blade, piercing through the burly man. The burly man's expression changed greatly. He held his head with both hands and screamed miserably. His scream was extremely shrill. With a bang, his head exploded. Many were nauseous by the sight of the burly man's white brain matter mixed with his blood.
That's terrifying.
Almost everyone else was dumbfounded. The person who rushed out to teach Paulson Colt a lesson was a genius from a super region. He was at the peak of the 7th stage of the expert level, and he was a 3-star genius. Yet Paulson Colt used only a finger to kill such a powerful genius. Paulson Colt's strength was simply too terrifying.
You people from Dino Valley, aren't you going too far? The final assessment is about to begin, but you've killed someone from my area. Aren't you provoking us?
A blue-robed man with an extremely powerful aura stepped out and glared at Paulson Colt. He was from the same super region as the burly man that was killed earlier by Paulson Colt.
Going too far? Am I going too far by calling everyone else a piece of trash?
Paulson Colt asked coldly. Murderous intent spilled out of his eyes as he stared at the man in the blue robe. Under Paulson Colt's gaze, the man in the blue robe felt his head buzzing. He was in so much pain that he felt like his head was about to explode the next moment. He was terrified and his face drained of color. In the end, he could only swallow back his anger and return to his group. The man in the blue robe believed if he irritated Paulson Colt, he would end up the same as the burly man. Since he was not powerful enough to fight back, he might as well endure it. Paulson Colt sneered coldly and withdrew the Guna spirit-eating insect before landing. Almost everyone was enraged, but no one dared to make a move. Flowing light continued flying in the sky as more and more people gathered there. Soon, there were more than 5,000 people. 2 green streaks of dim light appeared in the sky. They moved extremely fast, like 2 streaks of green lightning.
It's Dante Kane and Ethan Haddon.
What? What did you say, Dante Kane and Ethan Haddon from the Amor Mountains?
In an instant, the whole mountain peak became chaotic as everyone gasped in shock. In the past 3 months, Dante Kane and Ethan Haddon had made their names well known in the strange little world. It could be said that everyone, no matter dead or alive in the strange little world, had heard of their names. They were infamous. Not only had they killed countless geniuses, but they also killed many geniuses from the super alliances that tried to ambush them. Thus, everyone else's faces fell and mouths twitched when they saw the 2 showing up. Even Paulson Colt's expression turned a little solemn when he saw Dante Kane and Ethan Haddon.
Alex Harper and Arthur Conan, how did they become Dante Kane and Ethan Haddon? What on earth happened?
Medicine Costa's expression was grave and he was confused. Rumors had it that Dante Kane and Ethan Haddon were actually Alex Harper and Arthur Conan, but they couldn't understand how the 2 became so terrifyingly powerful by just changing their names.
Lord, there are so many geniuses here. Should we kill them as well?
When the others heard that question, they immediately felt a chill running down their spines. Their vital energy surged, and they were prepared to counterattack at any time. They did not doubt Ethan Haddon and Dante Kane were bold and powerful enough to do that.
Forget it. I heard this assessment is to select the Dragon Envoy of Carlton. Since that's the case, let's leave this damn place as the new Dragon Envoy of Carlton.
Dante Kane said faintly, and swept a glance around. Then he noticed Victor Quinn and Medicine Costa.
Victor Quinn, Medicine Costa, it's been a while. Where is Zane Martel?
Dante Kane had now possessed Alex Harper's body, so he naturally possessed some of Alex Harper's memories too. From those memories he possessed, Alex Harper's biggest wish was to kill Zane Martel. Since Dante Kane promised Alex Harper that, he would keep his word.
Why are you looking for Zane Martel?
Well, that's because I want to kill him.
Dante Kane's tone was calm and indifferent, as though killing Zane Martel was no different from crushing an insect to him.